It is Thursday, September 23rd. Welcome to another weekly real estate update. And so happy you're joining us today on Facebook Live or YouTube Live or later on. So thanks so much for joining us. We're finally launching our pro tips this week. And who better, Jaden, to bring on than my wife, Natalie of Blue Sky Staging and Design, right? I mean, you have to say that, don't you?
Well, I don't like in your case, you do have to say that, but I very much agree. I don't have to say that, and I agree with you. We're trying to bring up the talent and looks quotient on this thing, right? So I think we're doing good. It's a good start.
Absolutely, yes. So we're going to be getting to Jaden's mortgage update, to the weekly stats. But Natalie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's my debut on this platform. So
absolutely, yeah, it's going to be great. So we wanted to have you on today. We're starting this whole pro tips section, and a stager, a designer is a great person to have on. Of course, Natalie works with all of my clients and does a fantastic job, and a ton of realtors in Calgary employ her as well to stage their listings and things like that. So with that in mind, let's start off with staging a home for sale. Give us a couple of options and a couple of things that you always focus on. And as you're talking, I'm actually going to share my screen here and show everyone the home that you staged in Parkland. And we're going to just show that in just 1 second. So you can see this is the interior of the home. But Natalie, just speak over these pictures and kind of tell us what your inspiration was for this home in Parkland that you staged.
Well, thank you. So basically, the biggest thing is to make sure there's a purpose in every room. And you want to also know what your demographic is, like what buyer is coming in. Is it a young family? Are they young professionals? Is it a senior? Is it, a first-time home buyer? So you want to appeal to as much of that demographic as you can. So obviously in this house, this is a family home and it's been completely redone. So I just wanted to sort of showcase the spaces and the flow that you could get moving through each room and from one room to another. So we were sort of playing with different textures. We used different mixed metals, some, leathers and fabrics, and gold is a big thing now. People really like the gold. So mixing metals sort of really gives a house some flavor. So that was sort of the inspiration.
That is awesome. A couple more pictures there. And then let's talk a little bit about, hey, I'm not selling my house anytime soon. What can I do to maybe take out the browns from the 90s? I've got a ton of brown furniture. What do I do? What do I do to kind of update my home? Not expensively. I don't want to reno the kitchen. What are a couple of options for people to do for updating their home?
Well, right off the bat is paint. Paint is the biggest thing you can do to your house that will completely transform a space. So, a lot of people in the 90s and the early 2000s, they had the big red feature wall and they had, the browns and the mustards and all that kind of stuff. Now, it's just a real simple thing of just bringing all of those colors, sort of bringing them together, and you can still do feature walls are a big thing. But now it's more of the deep navy blues, the black, like a charcoal, or like a really deep dark green, like a forest green, just stands out so nicely. And it will just completely transform the space. The other thing is that if you have an existing kitchen that has a lot of the old like oak cabinets and that kind of thing, you can paint the cabinets. Like there's nobody to say you can't do that. And that can completely change it as well, just sort of just neutralize that honey oak. But again, wall paint will help mitigate the sort of the yellowness. So it's just about finding that balance.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you so much for joining us for our first ever pro tips. And you can find Natalie on Facebook at Blue Sky Staging and Design. Natalie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you in a second when I walk out of my office.
Bye.
Take care. All right, so there's Natalie Neustaedter of Blue Sky Staging and Design. I'm going to stop that screen share. We're going to get to our weekly market stats here as well in just 1 second. So some great ideas there, and reach out to her if you have questions. about your own home. She provides in-home consulting services, whether it's, really staging, design, all those different types of things that she can do. So that is week 1 of Pro Tips. So let's go to our weekly stats and take a look at what is going on. That actually, you know what? I threw the rates up, Jaden. So let's go with you first.
Yeah, for sure. No, and so first thing I'm going to say, that was the property that sold very, very quickly, was it not?
Yeah, that was first 12 hours on the market. Yeah,
you can see why, and I think that's the value that Natalie brings, right? Like I could see myself living in that house. That was fantastic. So
yeah, absolutely, she does a great job.
She does, and so I just want to go quickly on. We've had rates across the board come down a little bit. The one that I really want to talk about is something that I only have access to until Sunday, and it's the variable high ratio 5-year 0.95%.
Wow.
You are getting a discount from Prime of 1.5%. So, for those people who are currently in a variable, now is maybe a great time to switch. You'd need to be talking to me very, very quickly to lock in from that Prime -1, take it down to Prime -1.5. And the reason that you could do that is that your penalty would be so low to break that mortgage at a 3 months interest penalty. Anybody who has currently found the house and is putting in an offer right now, call me. Prime -1.5. Yeah. We have until Sunday to get the deal in. We don't need all docs up front. We just need to have a clean file ready to send into the lenders. So just an amazing opportunity right now.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So that is weekly stats for mortgage rates. And let's throw up, see if I can get this right this time. Let's throw up our weekly, there we go. I think I got it right that time. There we go. Yeah. All right. So week is September 16th to 23rd. We're kind of settling into our fall market now. The numbers are certainly not what they were in spring. But as you can see here, the last few weeks, we've kind of been in the low to mid 300s for sales. Low to mids. Well, actually, sorry, I was looking at listings there. So low to mid 300s for listings. On the sales side, we're down slightly from last week, not a huge amount. But we're settling into this kind of low 300s for detached sales. Again, these are detached only this week. Pendings of 138. Again, very similar to the last couple of weeks, really. So our sold plus pending is up to 439. Very similar to last week. And really, if you look at the last 4 weeks here, in the low 400s for sold plus pending, our net difference was plus 107, 253 price reductions. So, if you notice here, we kind of had this little blip where we had only 196, went up to 237. So we're starting to kind of creep up in price reductions, which we'll continue to watch. That should normally result in more homes being on the market. But if you look at our detached listings, they're down, 11 from last week. So that means there's still enough of them selling to take up those price reduced homes that are still sitting on the market. Total listings of 5,641, again down from last week. So that means not only are detached down just slightly, but also all the other segments like apartment, condo, row townhouse, and semi-detached. So overall, we're coming towards the end of September here. So we'll obviously have those stats readily available kind of that first couple of days of October to give you the update, which will be, we're the 30th next week. So unfortunately, we'll have to wait till the following week to give you the full update on stats. We'll be able to give you a better picture, though, of how September did next week. So that's really it. Again, I think that was a pretty good show. I think we needed some female influence in our lives, Jaden.
That's right. We got a little bit of razzle dazzle there. That was great to bring Natalie on. And yeah, you know what? It's we talk a lot about the people that we work with, so it's just so great to have somebody on and just show, like, when you're working with Mark, there's these extensions of his brand that are all around him that really bring value to what you're doing. So really great to have Natalie on today.
Awesome. Yeah. Appreciate your insight as always, Jaden. You have a great week, and we will talk to everyone next week.